Good day everyone! So for this week's lesson, ang topic natin is puro computation, all about blood components transfusion. Ganun. Okay? So apologies for the quality kung medyo malikot yung video. Nahawak ko lang kasi yung phone ko. Okay? So hindi ako gumawa ng PowerPoint or ganito yung naisip kong way para i-discuss to kasi feeling ko mas madali siyang intindihin in this way. Okay? So we have 7 cases, 7 cases, different situations, and different formulas din. So we will be discussing one by one. Okay? Okay. So let's start. Okay, so for case number 1, so for case 1, we are gonna look at blood transfusion, RBC transfusion. Okay? So what if ang given natin for this case is RBC, and hemoglobin. Okay? Okay. So, for example, patient has 7.8 grams per DL of 8 grams per DL. Tapos, syempre mababa yan, di ba? Gusto natin siyan na maging normal at least. So, ang ating goal para maging 12.5 grams per DL ang hemoglobin ni patient. Okay? Hemoglobin. Okay, so ayan yung given natin na hemoglobin. Okay. So, ang tanong, how many units of red blood cells are we gonna need for us to achieve our goal? Okay, doon papasok si RBC. Okay, so 1 unit ng RBC is equal to 1 gram per DL of hemoglobin. This is constant. Okay? Constant yan. Remember that. RBC is either whole blood or packed red blood cell. Parehas lang. 1 unit equals 1 gram per DL of hemoglobin. Okay? So, ito yung given natin. 7.8. Gusto natin siya maging 12.5. Okay? So, how many units is required for us to achieve this? Okay? So, using our formula. Okay? So, our formula, we have final value minus initial times our constant. This is our constant. Diba? 1 unit is to 1 gram per DL. Okay? So, final value, so since hemoglobin ang ating given, final hemoglobin value minus the initial hemoglobin value times 1 unit over 1 gram per DL. Okay? Okay. Okay. So, buburangin ko muna to kasi wala na akong space. Okay. So, we have, okay, nabura ko pala. 7.8 ulit. Want it to be 12.5. Okay. So, ilagay natin siya sa formula. You have the final value that you want minus the initial times 1 unit over 1 gram per deciliter. Okay? Okay. So, that would give you 12.5 minus 7, 8.8. That is 4.7. Okay, times 1 unit over 1 gram per deciliter. Okay? Sorry, nakalimutan ko. Gram per deciliter dito. So, cancel out this one. Cancel out this one. 4 times 1 is 4.7 times 1 is 4.7 divided by 1 is still 4.7. So, that gives you 4.7. Natitira nating unit is unit. 4.7 unit or round up natin into 5 units. Ito ang final required units mo to obtain your goal na 12.5 grams per deciliter. Okay? So, that's how you would compute it. Okay. So, case 2. For case 2, kanina hemoglobin ang tinignan natin. Ngayon, let's look at hematocrit. Okay? Hematocrit ang given natin. For example, initially, 20% ang hematocrit ni patient. We want it to be normal at least. So, let's make it 32%. So, ito goal natin, 32%. Okay? So, for our constant, kapag hematocrit ang tinitignan natin, 1 unit of RBC, either whole blood or packed red cell, 1 unit is equal to 3% of hematocrit. Okay? So, pag nag-transfuse ka ng 1 unit, expect a 3% increase in hematocrit. Okay, so this is our constant. Formula ang gagamitin natin is the same formula we've used kanina sa hemoglobin. Okay, so that's gonna be final hematocrit level minus the initial hematocrit level times our constant. That's 1 unit divided by 3%. Okay, so let's compute it. 32 minus 20 is 12 times 1 unit, 12% divided by 3%, cancel out, equals 12 divided by 3 is 4 units. Your final answer is 4 units for you to obtain your goal, which is 32%. Okay? So, madali lang yung first two cases natin. Hindi masyadong complicated. Okay. So, for case number 3, okay, so kanina ang tinignan natin is hemoglobin hematocrit. Okay, so let's look at platelets naman. So, for case number 3, let's talk about platelets. Okay? So, for platelets, it's kind of different dun sa kanina. So, ibang formula na yung gagamitin natin dito. So, for platelets, we are looking for the CCI. Sobra. CCI. Okay? CCI stands for corrected count increment. Okay? So, this is corrected count increment. Okay? Yun ang tinitignan natin. Hindi natin tinitignan if ilang units ang kailangan natin i-transfuse kay patient. Tinitignan natin yung corrected count increment. Okay? Why is that? That's because hindi constant. Okay? Unlike sa hemoglobin hematocrit, na standard 1 unit is equals to ganyan. Ang platelet concentrate kasi is different. Okay? So, sorry. Okay, excuse our dogs. Okay? Sa platelet concentrate kasi is different. Hindi constant ang amount of platelets per unit. So, iba-iba. Okay? Okay. Depende kung anong klaseng sample ang ginamit natin. So, we have two kinds of sample. RDP and SD. Okay. RDP meaning random donor. Okay. Random donor platelet, and this one is single donor. Okay. So, random donor, this is yung platelet concentrate na nakuha natin from my whole blood. Okay. Single donor naman is, this one is from platelet apheresis. Okay. Platelet apheresis na siya. This one is from whole blood. Okay. Kinuha lang natin siya from the whole blood. Okay. An RDP has approximately 5.5 or adds up to 5.5 times 10 raised to 10 platelets per unit. Okay. So, per unit ng transfuse, approximately adds up 5.5 times 10 raised to 10 platelets, provided na this unit has approximately 5,000 to 10,000 platelets per UL. Okay? Okay. For single donor naman, single donor is approximately adds up 3.0 times 10 raised to 11 per unit, provided this unit has approximately 30,000 to 60,000 per UL of platelets. Okay? So, don't be confused kung alin yung mas mataas sa dalawa. Random donor, 5.5, pero times 10, raised to power of 10 lang yung kanyang exponent. While yung single donor yung from apheresis, mas mababa nga yung kanyang number, pero mas marami siya ng 0. Okay? 11 ang kanyang exponent. So, mas madami ang platelets na pinoprovide from a apheresis. Okay? So, take note of this. Okay. So, yung CCI, kanina, sinabi ko ang kailangan nating computin. Okay? So, we have two versions para makuha natin yung CCI. Depende kung anong ginamit ni patient. Either RDP or SD. Okay? So, for RDP, we're gonna need, ito yung ating formula. Medyo similar lang naman na iba lang yung kanyang constant. Okay. So, this one is post-transfusion platelet count minus your initial platelet count. So, pre-transfusion platelet count times BSA. BSA stands for the, this one is body surface area. Body surface area. So, this one is given, depende sa patient, kung ano yung body surface ni patient. Okay? Okay. So, number of RDP transfused, ilan na ba yung na-transfuse kay patient? Times 0.5. 0.5 is constant. This is based on the, yung value na binigay ko kanina. Yung RDP is equals to 5.5 times 10 raised to 10. Okay? Doon siya based. Okay? Okay? Okay. For SDP, is single donor. Okay, ang pinagkaiba lang sa kanya, so parehas pa rin, post-transfusion platelet count minus the pre-transfusion platelet count times BSA. So, divided by number of SD times 3. Times 3, ito naman yung kanyang constant. So, based dun din sa binigay ko kanina na equation. Okay? So, now that we have our formula, so let's proceed with an example. Okay, for our first example, this is our given. Kindly take note muna. Okay, so malit lang kasi yung space ko. So, ang ating pre-transfusion platelet count, we have 8,500 per UL. Okay, after transfusion ng 5 units, so 5 units na yung na-transfuse natin, naging 32,000 per UL ang kanyang platelet count. Okay, so we used RDP. Okay, RDP to. Okay. For the BSA, that's 1.2 meter squared. Okay, so take note of this values. Okay, having our values given, so transcribe na natin siya sa formula. So that is post platelet count, post transfusion. So 32,000 per UL minus our initial or pre-transfusion that we have 8,500 per UL times our BSA. BSA is 1.2 divided by number of units, 5 units, times our constant of 0.55. Okay, this is gonna give us 32,000 minus 8,500 is 23,500. Okay, times 1.2. 5 times 0.55 is 2.75 equals, okay, so 23 times 1.2 divided by 2.75, that's gonna give us 10,255 per UL. Okay. So, ang ating CCI, corrected count increment, is 10,255 per UL. So, ayan na yung nakuha nating value. So, ano naman ngayon ang gagawin natin sa value na to? Okay. So, remember, a greater than 10K, 10,000 in value, or yung nakuha yung value dito, if it is greater than 10,000, that means it is good increment. Okay? Ibig sabihin, okay, successful, or hindi naman medyo. Ibig sabihin, nag-respond yung katawan. Ayun, nag-respond yung katawan, so it is good increment. Okay? So, successful yung transfusion. If this is less than 10,000, so that means, hindi pa sapat yung transfusion. It needs more. The patient needs more, or there's something wrong. Okay? Maybe, yung katawan is hindi tinatanggap yung platelets. So, sinisira agad. Kaya, hindi siya gaano tumataas. Mga ganung factors. Okay? So, remember, if it is, your value is greater than 10,000, so that means it is good increment. Okay? Let's give another example. Okay, take note ulit itong mga values na to. Okay, so our initial platelet count is 5,075 per UL. Okay, na-transfusehan natin siya ng 2 units ng SD. 2 units, naging 86,075 per UL ang kanyang platelet count. Okay, so and then BSA niya is 1.5 meter squared. Okay. Okay. So, I transcribed it sa formula na natin. Okay. So, you have a final platelet count, which is 86,075 minus our initial 5,075 times our BSA divided by our units transfused, 2 units times 3, which is the constant for SDP. Okay, 86,075 minus 5,075 will give you 81,000 times 1.5 our area divided by the units. 2 times 3, that gives you 6 equals 20,250. Wait a minute. 20,250 per UL. Okay? 20,000, that means that it's good. Okay? Good increment din ang nangyari kay patient. Okay? So, that's how you compute for your CCI. Okay?